family now. We're getting back in touch. It's fun. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Should I go ahead and share my screen? You want to get started?
Go for it. Let's jump into it.
Oh,
well, guys, we know a lot of you know us already. We're obviously saying hi to folks that we've known, but some of you may be brand new to Ginny and I. I will introduce us. I am Ryan Rieger. This is my friend, business partner, Ginny Hunt. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Ginny's up near Portland. We kind of started selling e-commerce. She started back in 2002. Is that right? Somewhere around there?
Somewhere around there. Sometime when Hallie was born.
Started with eBay, flipping strollers, and then turned I guess I should let you introduce yourself. You're better at it than I am. But we both started with e-commerce. We then partnered up together to create a course for Amazon sellers called Private Label, the easy way, teaching people how to create a brand of their own on Amazon. And when we did that, we looked at the blueprint of how we created that course. I started with the book. When I partnered with Ginny, she helped me turn it into an actual course. We have a mentoring community with that inside Facebook. It's turned into things like live events, mastermind groups, accountability groups. We saw all these different streams of income coming from that essentially one piece of content. And we thought, we have a blueprint for how to basically take any kind of content and turn it into an income. And so that's why we do this. We are passionate about helping people take something that you're passionate about, you're knowledgeable about, something that you know, something that people ask you about, like, hey, how did you do that? That thing. We want to help you take that thing and turn it into something that it creates income for you. So we're excited to get into this tonight. We're going to talk about monetizing that passion. And before Ginny gets started, guys, it doesn't have to be something that you're just crazy, crazy passionate about either. It could just be something you're interested in, or something that, hey, you just know this thing, and then there are people that are always asking you about that thing, and that could turn into an income. So it doesn't have to be like like Ginny said earlier, when we were on a call, like your soul search, just a deep, deep passion. It can be just any knowledge that you have that other people don't, that they'd be willing to pay you for. So we're excited to do this.
Yes, we are excited. And I think the more we dig into this, the more excited I get. And what's crazy, we've been working on this program and just talking about this and sharing with people and kind of formalizing how we talk about it for a few years now. But it's interesting, we're in different times. But there's such a good opportunity right now to step into this. Our world overnight, you all know, is just turned virtual. And there's a lot of opportunity to serve. So let's dig in. Yeah.
Why the toilet paper roll?
I don't know. I was trying to figure that out. What was I thinking? It was probably one of my 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. things. No, I do think that sometimes we think we don't. This is a stretch, but this is where I was thinking at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Maybe somebody can give me a thumbs up if you can follow my thinking here. But I was thinking in terms of how I think a lot of people do not think that they have something to bring to the table. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That their passion or the things they're interested in are really like, well, everybody's doing that, or nobody wants to hear about that, right. Or, something along those lines. And so you might feel like you have an empty roll of toilet paper, but That's good. You saw the webinar image, because we're going to do another one tomorrow, that one is a full roll of toilet paper, because what we want you guys to walk away with by the end of our time together today is a full roll of toilet paper. We want you to understand that what you have, you have a unique story, you have a unique makeup and a unique interests and knowledge, and all of those pieces together. That's something unique that you bring to the table. And right. There is likely value there. In fact, I would say somewhere there might be some things you're interested in that really probably are not things to pursue, but I guarantee there's some things that you are interested in and that you do have knowledge about, that you are passionate about, that other people are, that you have, something you can offer and serve people with. So that was the idea behind that. You put me on the spot. So I'm glad I had an idea.
You can get me back later.
Oh, okay. That was recorded. We're good.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's move on. So we are talking about monetizing your passion, and I guess I'm kicking it off. And one of the things, you know, what is your passion? We've got to define that. Okay. Not just talk about, is it possible to monetize it, but how do you even figure out what in the world it is? Right. Mm-hmm. And so, I love, Ryan, what you said at the beginning too, of just, you know, we don't have to, it doesn't have to be this deep soul searching space that you get to and this deep calling. It can be, and perhaps that's where you'll end up if you're not starting there, but it doesn't have to be there to start. And I think that something I've learned over the last few years and really solidified my thinking in this last year when I was writing my book, Sweet Spot Revenue, is that really finding your passion, I think it's more about the journey than it is actually the destination. And that there's a part that you just really need to start moving to discover what you're passionate about. And you might be surprised where you end up. I am surprised where I've ended up. I am absolutely passionate about what I'm doing, and I'll share a little bit as we dig into this, but it's not where I thought I would be. Ryan said that I started flipping strollers. Dream job. I mean, you know, not really, but what I came from a marketing background. I was working in a corporate, big company, Silicon Graphics in the Bay Area. And the only reason I jumped into flipping strollers and other children's items on eBay was because we needed to supplement income. We had 2 little kids, a toddler and a newborn, and I did not want to go back to a job. And that was a way that I could stay home. So my passion was to stay home, not to be working at all. I had enough work with 2 littles underfoot, believe me. But what that's turned into over the years, I mean, that was 16, 17 years ago. And what that's turned into was, actually, I'm doing the math wrong, but that at 17, I'm just thinking, wait.
It's all right. This isn't a webinar about math. Anyway,
okay.
It's all right.
We're all messed up about math anyway.
Right.
So, anyway, but what that's turned into is my passion. I'm passionate about helping people and to help other people understand that there's something in them that they can have this kind of lifestyle, to be free to do the things they're called to do or that they desire to do, and make money to support their family and to support other people, to help other people, or whatever it is that's on their heart. I want to give that hope to people. And so I've discovered that that's what I'm passionate about along the way. So I'd like to just encourage you that it might look different than what you think it will look like at the beginning. And so step into it and let the journey be a part of that definition. So we're going to really kind of go through a brainstorming process into tonight's webinar. And honestly, we're going to ask a lot of questions, and it actually might not be a bad idea for you to get your old-fashioned pen and a notebook of some sort. And maybe we should have a book that we actually send out where you can buy have a KDP book to go through and take notes. But really just, I think you might want to be taking some notes. There is a worksheet. If you are, I know some of you guys are in the Facebook group. We're also on a Zoom. Some of you are on Zoom with us. I posted the link to the Facebook group in the chat, so you can join us there, because there is a worksheet that actually walks through some of what we're going to be talking about that might help you. I just think that, you know, we're all wired differently, but listening, seeing, and also writing might help the creativity flow a little bit differently. So take some notes and let's dig in. So, okay, we were talking about passion, and is that the same thing as your sweet spot? How would you answer that, Ryan?
I say sweet spot, I think of like candy or something.
Okay, well.
Well, your sweet spot. Okay, so because that word I heard my friend Dan Miller say it a ton. I don't know if he got it from Brendan or Brendan got it from Dan or Dan got it from somewhere else, but your sweet spot essentially is where your passions and your talents intersect with the needs of the world. And you know that where you might love a certain topic or subject, but there's no way to turn that into a stream of income. But most things you can actually. We probably could brainstorm most ideas and find a way for somebody to monetize that weird niche that they think they have or that they're interested in. But your sweet spot essentially is just where your passions, your talents, and then the needs of the world come together.
Right. It is. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So your passion isn't necessarily the same thing as your sweet spot, but there's definitely some overlap. So the bigger picture is your sweet spot. Passion is a part of that. So if that's the case, then let's talk about how that fits in. And Ryan, you did a little bit with sharing what Dan Miller has taught you and what he teaches, but I really like what's resonated with me has been how Brendan Burchard brings this up. And he talks about it being where these four circles kind of overlap. And you've got your passion. We're going to talk about this more, but community, your skills, your knowledge, your skill set, and your lifestyle that you are either needing to or choosing to live, where all of those kind of overlap is your sweet spot. And so that helps me go, okay, how can I take each one of those circles and define them? We're going to look at them one at a time. So when we're talking about passion, real quick, I think the link for the Facebook group.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
When we're talking about finding your passion, here's some questions to consider. What is it you love to do, right? When we think of passion, we think of love. So what do you love to do? Or where do you like to hang out? What do you like to do during your free time? Do you like to sit and be alone and like read or, listen to music or just kind of people watch? Or do you like to go somewhere where people are? What kind of people do you like to go to the park and play basketball? Or do you like to go to the mall and shop? Now, maybe you can't do either one of those right now, but if in a perfect world, where do you like to hang out? And who do you like to help? I think we all are wired to desire to help people, but we are drawn to certain types of people based on our own skill set. And might not even be, or our own interests. We might not even realize that we tend to move towards those people to help them. We just, I can do that. And we step in and meet a need. So who is it that you like to help? And what could you talk about for forever with no notes? Like that's a big one. And that for a while, I'm like, I don't know. Like I was thinking it had to be something academic. I don't know, something like that, that it had to be bigger than.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something that's going to like just revolutionize somebody's life. Like I have a guy that he's going to be on my podcast like next week. And he loves paper airplanes. He's just helping people be entertained, and that's his passion. Right. And awesome. Nobody would say that he's changing their life. I mean, maybe you could, by entertaining them or making them have fun, that is life-changing. Okay, I'll give you that. But like, it's not something like you help people lose weight or get over smoking or something really big. It doesn't have to be something like huge, guys. It could just be something that you just love this. There are other people that love it, and they're going to pay you for it.
Right. Exactly. And that takes a lot of pressure off. So when you think about what is it you really enjoy doing, do you enjoy baking? Could you talk about baking and like your favorite recipes, or maybe you enjoy making bread, can you talk about that? I mean, it can be that simple. It, like Ryan was saying, the paper airplanes, or, is there something you collect, anything that you are interested about, anything. Okay. So when we talk about passion, just take that. It does not have to be something really deep, because not that the other things, not that it's lighter and less important. There's a need for all of it. We need those lighter things too. If everything was really heavy and deep, that would be a different kind of world than what we're living in. And we need those lighter things as part of our world too. They're just as essential as the other things.
Sure.
And so take that pressure off and just brainstorm. Okay. Yeah. Don't even think I've got to figure out what my passion is. Just answer these questions.
And sometimes the word passion makes it like, because of the term we use it, in marriage, you think it's got to be something just really
intense.
Yeah. It doesn't have to just, what are you interested in, guys? What do you like to do? Simple as that.
Yep. And we'll talk about how to figure it out if you don't know, but that's your first circle, right? Is passion. Like, so what is it? Where are your interests? Secondly, where are you serving? Okay. And this will help you figure this out. I mentioned this a little bit. Who do you already tend to help? Think about that for a little bit. Think about the gaps that you tend to fill. There's a lot of gaps right now, I'm noticing, in this world that we're in this crazy twilight zone. I've noticed gaps. And if you're entrepreneurial minded at all, you tend to notice them a little bit easier, I think. And whether or not you can step into them, it's like, man, somebody needs to do this. Somebody needs to do that. Are you noticing gaps, and are there gaps that you can step into and serve? What gaps are you seeing? What need are you filling? Are you seeing that there's people in your community who are stuck at home and can't go out to grocery shopping? Is there a need that you're seeing? It's like, well, I can go grocery shopping for them. So is there something I can do here to serve them well and kind of create a win-win? Okay. So that's the kinds of things you're looking for. What need are you filling? And I know there's only 2 questions there, but just take some time to just.
And Jenny, like with you, with your, you said this earlier, but like with your, strollers, it wasn't like, oh my goodness, I love strollers. I just love serving moms. You just needed to make money, and you saw an opportunity because you bought one, and you didn't need it anymore, right? You sold the one you had. That's what you were doing. And so then you flipped it on eBay. You probably were just trying to get rid of it. It wasn't like, I'm going to turn this into a business. You kind of stumbled upon that. And then that just opened up the door for you to become, the giant in this e-commerce world with all the stuff you've done. So it wasn't like you were passionate about strollers. That was your lowest hanging fruit that got you started. Right.
And my need was to my own family at that
exactly.
At that
and that's okay.
That yeah.
Totally fine.
Right. And yes, absolutely. Okay. So you have your passion is one circle. Where are you seeing gaps? What need can you fill? Okay. That's your other circle, second circle. And then your third one is lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle? Now don't think, okay, this one kind of trips me up a little bit sometimes, because I think it's got to be the lifestyle where I have a huge house on Laguna Beach and maybe a yacht and and a ranch. So we're going to have horses, like this is like my dream kind of, it doesn't have to be that. Maybe you have some people that you need to stay home to care for. Maybe, for me, my lifestyle at the time when I started was I didn't want to go to a job. I wanted to be home with my children and have the flexibility that I needed to take care of them. That was the lifestyle that I felt like I needed or wanted. So it doesn't have to be extravagant. It can be. You can dream that big and go that direction if you want to. But I don't want you to think it has to be something, when we say lifestyle, something real extravagant like that. It doesn't have to be. It can be simple. And it could be really more, this is the lifestyle I need to be having right now. Maybe you have aging parents that you need to be able to take care of, or a spouse, family member, somebody that you need to be home for. So you need a lifestyle that will allow for that, right? Maybe you are, I need to be working and be done by 10 o'clock in the morning, but I'm good. I'm a morning person, so I'm good from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. I don't know, figure out what does that lifestyle look like for you. So what kind of life do you want to live? That's important. And it's okay to dream big, right? It's okay to go into to dream. It's okay to want that house with the Laguna Beach, and the horses, whatever it is you want. But
the horses on Laguna Beach?
What?
The horses on Laguna Beach?
Ooh, that'd be nice. A private beach.
That's right.
Because the beaches get crowded down there.
Right.
Maybe Laguna's not the right place, but it's gorgeous. So
it is.
Anyway, what kind of life do you want to live? Where do you want to live? Okay. And how flexible do you want to be? And I think you can replace all of the word want in those with need. So what kind of life do you need to live? Is because you might have limitations right now in things because of different things that are important to you. Like I said, for me, I wanted to be home, but I felt like I needed to be home. I needed to be home with my kids. I wasn't willing to have someone else raise my children. I wanted to do it. Where do I need to live to be able to make that happen? We moved up to Oregon from California because my parents had moved up here a few years earlier. We wanted our kids to grow up with them. So how flexible do you need to be? So those are want and need. They're two different things, but think through all of that.
Is this also just basically saying that let's find a business that fits the lifestyle that I need to have or want to have? So like, for example, your eBay business with garage sales, there might be somebody listening who's like, I want to do that. And there are other people that would be like, no, I can't work on weekends. I have to be somewhere else, or maybe I don't want to work on weekends. And so therefore a business of going to garage sales and selling stuff on eBay is probably not going to be the best fit for you long-term if you need to be, doing something else on weekends, or maybe your kids are in sports and you just absolutely couldn't get up on Saturday mornings and go to garage sales. And you don't want to miss those things. So let's not pick that type of business. Let's find something that fits into what you have going on currently.
Exactly. And you can. I promise you, you can. So, but knowing what it is you're really looking for and wanting, that all plays a part, I think, in what steps you're going to take to move forward. Mm-hmm. So, so we have passion, serving, lifestyle. These are all circles, and your fourth circle is going to be community. And if you haven't realized it before, maybe you're realizing it now. I absolutely believe we are created for community. We're created to be in community with each other. We're created for relationship and to be in relationships with each other. That's super important to our well-being. We need people in our lives. We need to be serving people. We need people to serve us too. We need to have community and friendships and relationships and all of that. And so it's really important. Well, what kind of community do you need to be in, or do you desire to be a part of? That's an important piece of this, because you can have all of these, but they can all be something. It can be something you're not passionate about, but you are serving in because you have the skill set. You're living the lifestyle you want, and you are around people. But if you really want to find your sweet spot, you want to look at what fits your desires and your needs. Okay. So questions to ask: are you in community with others already? And do you, or can you have relationship with others in the area of interest? So all of these are overlapping, right? So here's this picture. You've got your passion, your lifestyle, your serving, and your community. And where they overlap in the middle, that's kind of your sweet spot. And that would be where you would be functioning in a place that I'm doing what I enjoy doing. I find joy in what I'm doing. I either am passionate about it, or I have an interest in this and I'm enjoying myself. That's that passion piece. I am serving other people. We are also, I think, created to serve each other. So I'm serving, I'm filling a gap, I'm needed, and I'm stepping into a need. I'm in community, and I'm living the lifestyle that I need or that I want to live. Those four things, where they overlap, is that sweet spot, right? And so keeping that in mind as you're discovering and defining what direction do I want to go in, I think is really helpful, that we at least take a minute to explore those areas. Okay. Don't get stuck here, because a lot of it, like we said at the beginning, will be defined as you start moving. And if you get stuck here, you won't ever move, and then you won't be anywhere. So to move forward, don't get stuck here. Visit it, hang out, think about it a little bit, and then move on. And we're going to continue, because what happens if I don't know what I'm passionate about or what I'm interested in? I don't know. And I don't know if, is there a gap? I just don't see it. And, okay, I think I know what kind of lifestyle like that would be nice if I could stay home, work my own hours, and define all of that myself. Is that really possible? I don't know. And, shoot, what if I don't want to be around people, or I don't know what if I can't find people? Right. What do I do? I don't know what to do. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay. It's okay. Because like I said at the beginning, a lot of these pieces will come together as you journey. I promise. Yes. I promise. And so I just think I wish I had the bigger picture at the beginning of my journey, mm-hmm. but at the same time, I don't know. I wish I had it, but I don't think I would change the way that I've gotten to where I'm at now. So, and thinking of this goes along, I don't know who said this, but you don't find your passion, you build it. That requires action, right? It's not something you go find, you build it. You get to design something around you and around how you're uniquely created and around your gifts and your skills and all of that. So we're going to, if you don't know what to do, really the two places to start is in exploring. We want to encourage you guys to explore as you start serving in community. Those two kind of overlap. So you find places to serve in community. We're going to talk more about this, but, and kind of wrapped up in this, we're going to dig into, okay, what if you don't know even with that? You can explore your low-hanging fruit, and Ryan's going to dig into this a little bit.
Yeah. So this is just like, well, guys, what's right in front of you. So Jenny, your example of the flipping the strollers, what happened after that? Because you found out pretty quickly. Tell them real quick about your eBay story, and then how it turned into your membership site. Because that was low-hanging fruit opportunity for you.
It totally was. Okay. So I was, I found a stroller. I had just had my second child. It was a double stroller and it was not really working for us. And so I thought I'll sell it on this site that I've never really done much. I've heard a little bit about it. It's kind of new, eBay. And so I listed it, and I had bought it at a garage sale for $15. I flipped it for over 100. And I thought, oh, I bet I could do this again, because I was garage selling quite a bit because kids grow very fast. And we were on a very tight budget. And that was how I was providing clothes and everything that we needed for our kids. And so I went again, and I found the same stroller. It was actually in better condition for $15 again. And I flipped it again for over $100. And that was like light bulb, like, okay, I can do this. And not just with strollers. Yeah. I'm doing this enough going to garage sales. It was a kind of a fun outing for my kids and I too. And so, I was going enough that I knew what I was finding regularly over and over again. And so I thought I bet I could do this more. And so I started selling, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I responded to a Craigslist ad that I found. This lady she was a power seller and had done very well, but she didn't want to do all of the grunt work, is what I'm going to call it. You know what it is. All of the, she just wanted to do the shopping. She just wanted to do the fun part and drop the stuff off and have somebody else do the listing, take the pictures, package everything up, iron it, figure out what's going to be sold with what, and bring it to the post office. At the time, that's what you did, and send it off. And so I'm like, please teach me. I am new, but I really want to learn. And so we partnered and we split profits 50-50. Every week she would come with at least 20 of those huge black garbage bags full of children. It wasn't just children's. It was mostly clothes. There was some children's gear in there, but mostly clothing. And okay, it's in a garbage bag. It all had to be ironed. It was awful.
Oh my gosh.
I had a 3-year-old and an infant. And yeah, it was, when I go back there, it's hard to not get caught back in that. But she would come every week. And I mean, it was a huge blessing for us and our family, but I burned out pretty quick. I was going through every week, these 20 huge bags of clothes. I had to iron them. I had to figure out what was going to go with what for a bundle, or a lot is what we call them. Yeah. I had to take pictures. I had to upload the pictures to my computer, because this was 16, 17 years ago, and create the listing and then track everything. So when it sold, I had to ship it within 48 hours and take my kids with me to that's when that double stroller came in handy.
Yeah.
To the post office, because we just fill it up with our packages. I burned out. And so I was like, there's got to be another way. So I stumbled on Jim Cockrum's book, Silent Sales Machine. Hiding on eBay was the name of it. Actually, I had that last part too. And that just got my wheels turning. And one of the things I knew how to do was find items at garage sales and flip them. I knew how to list well, because I was trained really well by this lady. And so I realized I can help other people, and decided to write a book about how to flip items in garage sales. Reached out to an author of a book that was the same book I really wanted to write. And she invited me to a mastermind group. And from there, it was a group of about 4 or 5 women. They all had read Jim's book within the year prior and had built up an email list. I was the newbie to the group, and I decided to start a membership site where I was going to share what I knew. I was going to give a list once a week. And it wasn't even a site, guys. This was just through email. So people would subscribe and pay monthly through email. And I would send them every Wednesday night. I would send them a list of at least 25, somewhere between 25 and 50 things to look for at garage sales. And I would give data to support why they were good and how much to expect to pay. And sometimes I'd have pictures of them. I'd have sample auctions and things like that. And I sold that for $1.99 a month. And once I opened that up, I had 500 people subscribed overnight to my newsletter, which took me 2 hours a week to write, to research. So that was close to what I was making doing the eBay. It was, I was able to grow that, but it was such a difference in the amount of time I was putting in. Right. But I'm not sure where you want me to go with that.
No, I was going with that perfectly, because you were, that was a low hanging fruit. You found something that was valuable knowledge. You knew how to find things at garage sales and flip them. You knew what things were, what value they had, what to buy things for. And so you knew that those same things would be at garage sales all over the country. So it was almost like, hey, look out for this. So guys, the point is, it was, you know, it's just something that she knew, some knowledge that she had. And so think about, where are you already? So one way to explore, there's so many different ways to explore like what your passion could be, or what we call your low hanging fruit. If you're not sure what you're passionate about, like we say this term low hanging fruit, like what's right in front of you that you could start pretty quickly. And one way to think about this, or questions to ask yourself, is where are you already hanging out? So a lot of you are probably on Facebook already. What groups are you a part of? What, just go into your Facebook groups. You'll probably be shocked at the number of groups that you're in. There are probably some groups that aren't active anymore that you could probably get rid of, but just look into those groups. Where are you hanging out online? Maybe we always joke about this Instapot recipe group that's on Facebook that has 200,000 plus people in it. It's crazy that people all just hanging out.
Almost 2 million.
It's almost 2 million. Sorry, 2 million. 2 million people talking about Instapot recipes. Now, that's not a group to make money, but there are ways you could monetize that knowledge. If you're just really good at that type of thing and people are always asking you, hey, Brian, you're on here. So if Brian, you're amazing at making pot roast. People are always asking you for your pot roast recipe and all your other recipes. Well, that's a clue that, hey, you know what? That might be something I could turn into an income. Who do you like to hang out with? When you go out and about, what are people asking you about? What are they asking your help for? What interests you have in common with those folks? These are just questions to start getting you thinking, like, what could I make money from? What's the knowledge that I have that could turn into something that people would pay me for? The other thing I like to ask is just ask people. I say that, and I learned this from Brian Dixon, is we can't read our own label. And so it's so much easier sometimes just to say, hey, you know what, Jenny, what do you think I am good at? And because she might tell me things that I were like, oh, that really? You think that that's something special? Because guys, we so overlook the things that we're good at because we don't think it's so special because we're good at it. It comes natural for us. That right there is probably the very thing that you could turn into an income, or one of the very things of many maybe, but just simply think what do people ask when they private message you or send you a text or call you up? What is the thing that they're saying? Hey, help me with this, or hey, I need your advice on this. What is that thing? That could very well be your low hanging fruit.
Absolutely. I wanted to just comment on one thing that you said about the Instant Pot group, and you went to I forget how you said it, but you were talking, and totally agree. If you're somebody who's in there and you have a really good recipe and people are asking you all the time, that might be the direction to go. But I was going to say, if you're in an Instant Pot group and it's a very active group, that's a key right there, that people are interested in Instant Pot recipes. Whether it's you have a roast beef one or any other kind of thing, there are 2 million people, and there's more than one group like this, okay, that are interested in Instant Pot recipes. There is a way to serve those people. If you listen to them enough in that group and you start hearing what it is they want to know, there's a way to serve those people and to monetize that so that it's a win-win. There's also another group that one shocked me, and the other one that has shocked me the most is, and there's more than one of these as well. It also had a huge amount of people in it. I can't remember how many, but it was a do-it-yourself craft group for what it's called, but it's basically finding things at the dollar store and turning them into crafts. Wow. So if that's the type of group that you find yourself in, if it's an active group, that is, maybe that's something of interest. Pay attention to those groups that are active and have a lot of people in them. There's something there. And if you're interested in that, then clearly other people are as well. And you probably have something to bring to the table.
Absolutely. Good stuff. All right. So we like to think there's so many different people that this whole process that we teach applies to. And one of them is authors. And Jenny and I have both written a book, and it's so easy for an author to say, okay, I did that. What do I do with it now? You write a book, you go through that hard process of getting it out, and like, well, now what do I do with it? Maybe it's not selling, or, you find out pretty quickly that having your own book doesn't mean that you're getting rich. It just is essentially what Jim Cockrum calls your business card. It's a way to add credibility to yourself, to your business. And we love to help authors figure out how to take that same exact content, turn it into things like a book, or a course, maybe a podcast, a video series, a Facebook community, mastermind events. There's so much you can do besides just after you've written that book. And you should, if you're wanting to monetize it, if you want to turn it into something more than authors, you guys who you just have, there's so much opportunity there. Mm-hmm. Coaches, we talk to a lot of coaches, people that do one-on-one now, not baseball coaches, although it could be. This is a picture of a baseball coach there. It could be somebody who's in like a sports coaching and turn that into like an online course, write a book, create videos and all that. But the folks that we talk to a lot are one-on-one coaches, like lifestyle coaches, fitness coaches, business coaches, career coaches. They're getting that money one-on-one. Maybe you're in a business like our friend Diana Wallace, who is a health practitioner. I don't know if she's got an actual term, certified something. It's like almost like a one-on-one coach. She talks to you one-on-one, either in person or over Zoom. But that's not her only source of income. She has monetized that into other ways. She has a course, she has a book, she sells physical products, the actual like supplements. Mm-hmm. So if you are a coach and you're just doing this one-on-one thing, nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. Great way to earn some money and change people's lives, but you're essentially trading hours for dollars. And so you cannot scale that type of business very well. I mean, you could add more coaching clients into your business, but that means more time. And if you're trying to back away and not work as much, then what could you do to add more income with the same content that you're already teaching? And that's what we're going to talk about more. Do you sell physical products? Now, this is an easy one. I know a lot of you do. A lot of you know us from where we teach folks how to sell on Amazon. If you sell stuff on Amazon, you have some specialized knowledge that can turn into so many other streams of income. Mm-hmm. Number one, teaching people how to do this. Number two, partnering with businesses that need it, especially right now. There's so many businesses that are hurting that want to, they got stuff sitting around that that's not moving because they're not even open. You could come alongside them and partner with them and help them get their stuff sold. And the other one is that knowledge could be, you could create a course on that knowledge that you have of how to sell online.
Right. And that's what I did, right? I was selling physical product. And another way to think about it, one of the things that was hard for me was I was in this mastermind and all of the people I was with were also selling children's items on eBay. So in a way we were we competed. We were, and I was like, I can't do what they're doing. Like, and I felt like I needed to find my own little niche. And, there, of course, we think there's room for everybody, but it does help you to differentiate. And so my niche, what I provided was not just, eventually I turned it to how to sell and added additional services as my audience shared with me the need to know those things. But initially, all I was doing was giving them a shopping list for garage sales. That's what I was super tight on what I was giving them. It wasn't a how to sell or anything. It was, I know how to find things at garage sales. Here's my shopping list that I'm going to share with you for $1.99 a month, So just be encouraged because there is opportunity and it doesn't have to look like what everybody else is doing.
That's right. What do you love? And then we've talked about this again. What's your interest? What are your passions? Same question. What do you love to do? You might think I love the paper airplane example of my friend Kyle, who turned his love of paper airplanes into a business. If he can do that, then surely the thing you're interested in could turn into something that puts money in your pocket. What do you want to get better at? What do you want to be known for? You may be already known for it. Especially if people are already coming to you for this thing, that's, that could easily be something that you turn into income. Who do you want to be around? Community is a big deal. And, if think about the people who you serve, are those the type of folks in that niche? Like if you're passionate about a certain topic, do you want to surround yourself with those folks also? Because those are the folks who are going to be in your audience.
Yep. Sorry.
What brings you fulfillment?
Yeah. And really, I think we're kind of asking the same questions over and over
just
again.
Different
and we
ways
haven't figured it out. Sure. And there's a reason for that, right? Because it just helps trigger things in your mind. And that's our goal.
Yeah. Another way I like that, guys, with the fulfillment one is like what energizes you. So like after talking to somebody about your favorite thing, and let's say that you were really good at creating beautiful websites, and you have a friend that calls you and says, hey buddy, I need help with my site. I'm trying to put it together. And you do it. You actually maybe even do it for them, or walk them through that. Afterwards, you're like, that was awesome. I loved helping him. The thing that makes you feel like after you've maybe done it for hours and hours, and you get off that call or whatever, that project, and that was energizing to you, pretty good clue that that's your thing. If it's something that completely drains you, like you dread it completely, that guy calls and wants help with the website, and you just dread even taking the call because you know what they're going to ask you, that's probably not your thing. Even you could be good at something that you don't have any business or don't want to get into. And so it's not going to be that. It's going to be something that you're excited about, that you love to do. Now, I understand at the beginning, when you're trying to earn some money, you might flip some strollers. You might go to garage sales and make extra money. And guys, there's nothing wrong with doing something that hey, you just need extra $500 per month, and you need to find something you're not passionate about garage sales at all, but it's a way to put food on the table. That's great. But be open. Have your eyes open to what that could turn into with what it did with Jenny. She had no clue going into that was going to turn into a membership site that overnight put in $1,000 per month in her pocket. She was just trying to help her family out and pay the bills. But she's an opportunity seeker, sees things, sees gaps. Guys, be that way too. Look for the gaps, look for the opportunities. And last one is, what drives you? What gets you excited? What would you be excited to wake up on Monday morning to do?
What motivates you?
If you haven't found your passion yet, that's all right. Number one, you know what you want to do, but you're too afraid to pursue it. Or B, you've not found your passion because you're too afraid or too distracted to explore.
We have to go there because we know that there are things that hold us back. And it's, if you haven't found it, and you've been looking, perhaps there's something there that's keeping you from actually being willing to see and think that there's opportunity. Usually that's fear-based. And so we have a family motto in our family, and it's do it afraid. And I do not have liberty to share how that came about at this point, but I don't know if I ever will. It will probably embarrass one of our family members. So, but has been very powerful for our family. And it is, it takes courage. It does take courage, and everyone has things. Even we have crazy fears, things that like make no sense to me or to you or anybody. But we still have them. And so be willing to recognize what those fears are that might be holding you back. Maybe they're, the voices of when you were growing up, that you'll never amount to anything, or you can't do that, or you can't do this, or, or maybe it's the only thing that you can ever do is work for somebody else, or whatever. Those things have a huge impact on our lives. And so don't be afraid to acknowledge them and to call them out. Don't let fear hold you back from what you might be called to do. And don't be afraid to explore that. And we want to encourage you to explore that and be willing to step in. You guys are asking some really good questions that I'd love to hit maybe at the end. We'll make sure we get to them. So keep asking. We're seeing them. So then the next question is we just threw a ton of questions at you, actually. So let's do one more. Just wanting to get you to brainstorm. Remember, there's a worksheet in the Facebook group that can help you walk through. It just brings these questions up again to help you kind of brainstorm it out. When I was moving from selling physical product to the membership site and selling information, it took me a long time of just chewing and thinking through, what is it that I can do that's related to what I'm doing, that gives me the lifestyle that I want, where I need to be home, that where all of these things that meets our needs. And what knowledge do I have? What would I enjoy doing? It took me a while chewing on that before I got to the point, a couple months, I should say. I'm not going to say it wasn't years. It wasn't a couple days. It wasn't like, oh, I know what I'll do. It took a couple months of really thinking through these same types of questions. And, and I did that membership site for years. It served our family well for years. And from that is a whole nother story that I'm not going to get into right now, but more opportunity showed itself. And part of that we're going to get into, but so how do you monetize your passion? If you serve them, they will come. Okay. It's that field of dreams. In fact, I think, who is it? Somebody's doing a big ad campaign right now, and it's, if you build it, they will come. And I've actually commented multiple times on that because I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm going to challenge that and say, if you serve them, they will come. When you start serving people. So one of the questions in here, actually, where is it? Ryan Robinson said, you mentioned that if you know how to sell online, we could create a course. I know I could do this, but how do I find the people? Is it just trying to find those Facebook groups? So we talked about the Facebook groups, but you get involved there and you start serving with an eye for opportunity and listening to what are people complaining about? What do people need? What are the pain points? What are people asking about all the time? Where am I answering questions all the time? Like, what question am I answering over and over and over again? How can you step in and start serving in that group? Opportunity will start to make itself aware to you. You will see opportunity and people will start seeking you out to help them. And this is part of what we dig into in other areas in our program, but this is really important. So it's important to, how do you monetize? You start serving. With my group, I started serving. I had 500 people overnight in a mailing list that was a paid membership. And that year, at the end of the year, I think that came out in the spring, and in like November, maybe might have been October, I got an email from somebody and they said, okay, you're teaching us how to sell used children's items, but how do you sell new toys on eBay? And I'm like, I have no idea. I had only sold used things, but I knew how to find out. So I went and, I knew how to sell on eBay. I knew how to research and how to figure out what was selling. I just needed to do the other side of it and find, how do you know what toys are going to be available? And then how do you discover that information? So from answering that email, I sent a huge long response, and I realized, you know what? Other people have this question. I know they're going to have this question too. And so I turned that into a short report, sold it for $7 to my list. Okay. The next year I was planning for it then, instead of it being a reaction to a question, I knew that need was going to come up. And I created a program called the Holiday Toy Guide and did that for over 10 years. And that opportunity was never something that was in my sights. It was because I listened to my audience. It was just simply, I was serving them. They let me know what it was that they needed. And from there, that's how you know really what course to create, whether you need to even create a course, what types of things do you need to do to serve them well. And so listening and paying attention in those groups is step one. And not just listening and paying attention, but commenting, answering people's questions when you know the answer, and freely answering without with a attitude and a heart and a mindset of serving, not the mindset of, I want to make money from you.
Yeah, Ryan, it comes down to, and I know you, so we could chat offline too. It comes down to who's your audience and where are they hanging out online. And so Facebook groups is a big one. And so also, who are the gatekeepers of that audience, of those audiences? Who do you know that has an email list of the people that you're looking to try to serve? You can partner with them. And there's all kinds of people in this space, Jenny and I included, not that we have huge lists, but decent lists. And we make a living off of serving Amazon sellers and have. So yeah, you have a ton of knowledge that you can help people with for sure.
Okay, let's keep going and we'll get to the other questions. But basically, guys, you want to be paying attention to the people who are around your passion. Get involved in Facebook. Not everyone is on Facebook, but a lot of people are. And you will be shocked how many groups there are on Facebook. And just look at how many groups you're involved in. If you're active at all in Facebook, I guarantee you're probably in a few groups. Pay attention to those. Look at the groups that are suggested to you from Facebook and see how many people are in there. Look at the groups with a different lens and start looking at, how can I serve in this group? Is this something I'm interested in really digging deeper into? Could there be opportunity here? Let's get in and serve and find out. So we kind of have this model of, you serve and engage with people, and then there will be opportunity for growth. And we dig deeper into this, but we wanted to really just share this model with you guys to get you thinking about, there is so much opportunity out there, especially right now. Everyone is online. Everyone is online. We are forced to be online. And so I think we're going to kind of be going up and down a little bit, where this huge wave of everybody online, I think people might burn out a little bit of being online all the time. And so it might pull back a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. The internet's not going anywhere. This is the time really to be able to serve well using the online world and the tools that we have available to us. So we want you guys to feel empowered around your passion and around what your interests are and what you're knowledgeable about, and how you're uniquely created and how you can serve from that. We want you to feel empowered to step into that and to understand that there is huge opportunity to do that. A huge opportunity. One of the things that we've done is, and if you're new to this group, in the Facebook group, was it 2 weeks ago? We like to do these hot seat calls every once in a while. We've done it 3-4 times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this last one we did a couple weeks ago was with Jason Smith, is his last name.
Yes,
I'm like,
that's right.
Just sounded wrong for a second, but we had a great time with him, and he was showing what the direction he's thinking about going, and we just brainstormed with him. Go watch that. Go watch the other ones. Everybody is unique in what they bring to the table, and it's so exciting for us to be able to hear what everybody's just so different. I love it. I love hearing what your knowledge, what your experience is. And like Ryan said, if you can't read your own label, our perspective is really just our own. And so you're created that way for a reason, because other people need what you have. You say that a lot, Ryan. Other people need to hear the message that you have. They need your story. They need your skill set and your gifting. You need to step into that. So we just want you really, from this call and this webinar, to feel empowered and encouraged. And tomorrow we're doing the next webinar in the series, How to Build Your Income Streams. And there we want to equip you with a plan, a blueprint of, okay, I kind of have an idea of the direction I want to go. That's really all you need to start. What do I do with that? And so tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. No, wrong, different channel. Shoot. Okay, we'll be in this Facebook group. So if you're in the Facebook group, we're going to broadcast live in there as well, just like we did now. But there's also a separate link for registering if you want to be on Zoom with us. It really doesn't matter. It's up to you. But tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, we're going to be digging into how to build out income streams. And what does that even mean? Around your knowledge and around your skill set and your gaps that you're filling and all of that. So there you go. Thank you, Ryan. Put it in the chat here for if you want to be on that call if you haven't registered yet. So that's tomorrow at the same time. Now I know we have some questions and some thoughts, and maybe we can hit those now.
Guys in Zoom, I'm going to send you the link to the Facebook group the Build Your Income group.
Okay. There's a couple questions. Yep, Michael, you nailed it right there. Just saying, you said, I love to solve problems from a 30,000 foot view. That's really good to know about yourself. Like, it took me a long time to realize I really don't want to get into the details as much. Mm-hmm. I'll get into them and then I don't want to do them. Like, that's the thing. I'll do that 30,000 foot view. So that's good to know about yourself and coach people on what's possible. Look at something and see a lot of ways things could go. Listen to the questions being asked. There's something there that's a gift that you have. And if you enjoy doing that, there's something there of how you can serve other people in that for sure. There's a Slack channel question. I'll let you answer that one.
Oh yeah. I'm not a big fan of Slack, but probably because I don't understand the people who love Slack. They love it.
I know.
And so I've never caught on to it, Michael. So I wouldn't say I'm the best person to ask that. It's just because I've used it for a conference before. Well, one project I was involved, we used Slack, and I just could not make the switch over to it. So
Yeah.
But I've heard that people use it that love it. They just think it's the best tool ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I in the same boat. So I couldn't get into it either. I think for me at the time it was, I've got my brain full of all these other things.
Too many tools.
Yeah. Too many tools for me, but that doesn't mean it's not valuable.
Exactly.
And there's not a place for that, because there are people who absolutely love it. Just like there's people who love Facebook, to connect or whatever. So, all right. What questions do we have in the Q&A?
Should probably read it out loud for the Facebook folks.
Yeah. Okay. So Janie asks, my primary business I'm working on is designing and selling wallpaper and fabric. I'm also an interior designer and planning on using elements of that as my lead magnet to sell wallpaper and fabric. Could I use a PDF interior design tips? I'm not sure. I think there's a typo there, for to sell each week or 2 weeks or monthly as a membership for $2 or $3 a month. Possibly. What I would do, Janie, is start, who are you going to sell that to? So think about, I would find your people in a group, and that'd be fun to get on a hot seat with you. But find your people in a Facebook group, people who are interested in remodeling their home, redesigning, changing their decor out. Find those groups. I know that they're there on Facebook, and just start serving, and people will seek you out. You'll start to see really where those needs are from those people, and if that is something they would even be interested in. So one of the things, this way of using Facebook groups really hit home for me when a while back, I don't know when it was, like early last year maybe, I had joined a group and it had about 300,000 people in it, and it was women entrepreneurs. And those are my people. Entrepreneurs are my people, right? So I was just in there hanging around, and then like the first day I was in, I don't even think I introduced myself in the group yet. I wasn't really posting much. I had just joined, but somebody had asked something about self-publishing or something along those lines. And I have a course that I teach with my daughter about how to use KDP, which is Amazon's self-publishing platform. So I answered and I said, you know what? I love KDP, and here's why, and here's how to do it. It doesn't cost you anything. And I gave her all of these tips. And I actually said, I do have a course, because I wanted to give credibility to my authority on the topic, but I wasn't self-promoting anything. I wasn't sharing anything like that. I actually gave her a lot of information that we share in the course, knowing that most people have to hear things 7 times before it even sticks. But she would be, recognize that, oh, there's something here. And so from that one comment, I had like 30, 40, 50 tons, a lot of messages coming from that group of other people who had seen my comment asking me, hey, can you tell me more about KDP? I've heard about it. I don't know much about it. How do I get started? What can I do? And since they had messaged me outside of the group, I could then invite them to a course I had. But just getting involved and starting to serve, I started to see, wow, there is even a bigger need than I realized of people and in business, to understand the opportunity that's out there with KDP. Same thing. You go in and you start answering questions, people are going to respond to that, and you're going to get some answers as to what will help and what won't. I don't know if that makes
that's what I plan on doing on Facebook, getting involved in. Yep. And over in Facebook, Ambika has a question. I'll read it out to you. How do you move out of benevolence and into profit within the same passion or calling? And then a little bit later says, answering my own question, I would think there would need to be a separate audience built up through these steps. I don't know that needs to be a separate audience. And now, Ambika, I know you, but I don't know your niche. But so Jenny, let's take an example of one maybe that you would think that a lot of people could, I guess anything you could end up like giving away to people for free.
Well, if you're a photographer, let's say, or anything, if you I can give you an example of, I don't know if I want to give that example, but there's somebody that I know who signed up for a course, and it was teaching a new skill, and they spent a lot of money for this program, and I don't think they had to spend the money for the program, but they decided that's what they wanted to do. Awesome. But what it did for them was they started doing the homework before the course started. And they were telling me about this, and they said, I went back and I thought, you know what? I paid a lot of money for this, so I'm going to do the work. Mm. That right there was a huge eye opener for me, because the thing is I'm learning more and more, you're doing a disservice when you're giving everything away for free, a disservice to the people you're serving. And that is a huge mind shift for me, for most people. But when people do not have skin in the game, they are not going to take action. And speaking from, even when people do, even when people buy things, they don't always take action. But I guarantee if people invest money or some sort of something in what you're providing, and if your goal is to get people to really take action, because it does them no good to have something that you've poured a lot of your own knowledge and everything into, and then have it just sit on the shelf, or, have them not do anything with it. That does them no good at all. So if they're interested in taking action, and that's why they're asking you, and you're trying to help them, it actually serves them well to sell something and to have them have some skin in the game, because then they will take it seriously and value what it is you are giving them. And they will do it. They will take the action.
Yep. And I understand there might be people you just want to bless, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you're getting a lot of people that say, hey, Amber, can I pick your brain about this topic? Or can I do this? Can I have this information? Can you tell me about this? How did you do this? That's where a lead magnet could come in. You could give away your free ebook, your free tip sheet. What Jim Cockrum a lot of times will say, hey, read this. Here's my book for free. You can just have it. I want to bless you. After you read it, come back to me with what questions you have. That's where a lot of folks won't ever do it, because they're not serious about it. So that could be the barrier you put in front of them. Like, if they're serious about reading through this, then there's somebody that I could eventually maybe work with. And turn, like even our friend Jenny Ambika knows Honey. They went to college together, I think. Honey has an email which a lot of people ask my friend Jenny and I's friend Honey about how she sells on Amazon. She put together an email with resources and things that she just sends, that instead of like spending hours on the phone with people, she'll send them that email and say, here's my information. It's a pre-written email. She just sends it to them. And if they want more information, they can email her back.
And I might be wrong, but I think that she created that out of joining the same group that I was a part of and commenting about how she was an Amazon seller, and everyone, loads of people, they're like, wait a minute, what? You're supporting how many children? You're doing this from home while you're a mom? And wait a minute, this, tell me. And she was overwhelmed with that. So it was just an email. And that, awesome. I think that really it's a mind shift on your own, but really thinking, and Rabbi Daniel Lapin his book is amazing to help with that mind shift. What's it called, Ryan?
His book, which one?
The Business Secrets of the Bible.
Yeah.
What is it called? Yeah. That will really help with that mind shift and understanding the value that you are providing, the service, how you are serving better by charging and requiring something in return. I love what Jim does, because you do want people to take action. You don't want, you've put an effort into this, and you want that to be valued. It is valuable, it totally is. So
very valuable.
Don't devalue that. Okay. There's a couple others. Do you want to read Michael's? Or is that a question?
I don't think that's a question, though.
Okay, sorry.
Just a comment.
Okay, Adrian has a question. I love being out in nature and working with children. I want the freedom to be outdoors in the warm weather and getting children outdoors, but I can't seem to monetize it. I tried setting up a virtual camp. No one enrolled. I can't do an in-person gathering right now because of the quarantine. Any ideas? Where do you live? I'm curious.
He's the one in Indiana.
Thank you. Okay. So, I have my thoughts. I think we're in a unique time right now. And there is, after answering that one question about, how do I monetize? How do I go from, offering things for free? One of the things that's been I don't know if this is a challenge. I'm trying to think of the right wording, but I've noticed a lot of people are giving things away for free right now to help people. And I've seen people be upset when people charge for things right now. We're living in this weird time in just the last month or so, right? So with knowing that this is, I wouldn't say this is the norm, and I don't think it's going to be a norm, our new normal. I think it's just a little season that we're in. I would look at building an audience. I don't know who did you reach out to monetize that? Who did you offer the virtual camp to? What's your audience look like? And if you don't have one, that might be part of the problem. And then I would suggest get involved with homeschool families, with, I don't know what your age group is and what where are people hanging out? Who are your audience? Get involved there. Start answering questions there. Become known. That's what you're doing is you're becoming known. Get known by the people in that group as someone who has an authority or who enjoys. And so things about that. And then when you go and have an offer, it's a no-brainer because they've already experienced something with you. So what are you doing? We talk a lot about a lead magnet. What are you doing to pull people in to give them that first experience with you? Maybe think of things that you can do along those lines. So is there something like maybe here's 5 things you can do during quarantine right now that you can do as a family to get outside in nature. And
did you see Amika's quote in Facebook?
No.
Said she could provide PDFs of family scavenger hunts or the like outdoors. People in Montana would eat that up.
Absolutely. Out here too. Totally agree. So think about really what you want to do right now. And this time and not that charging for something isn't serving well, but sometimes you need to give, almost all the time, you need to give people an experience with you first so that they are willing to invest in what you have to offer, right? So what does that look like? And you could even actually have an email list where every day or every week you're going to give, here's activities you can do for the week or every month. And it's a calendar that just has, I see this on Pinterest all the time. If you want to look for some inspiration, it's just a calendar sheet and it has, for May, and every day has a little picture or something, or, something fun to do, something different to do. So
it's about building relationships, guys. And it's none of this, a lot of times this isn't like super fast building. I'll be honest with you. These are things that might take some time to make happen. That's why if some of you are thinking, gosh, should I do this or this? And you're trying to decide, you might want to go after the thing that provides you the quickest income with the least amount of work first. Like if you're having to decide, some of these things are a slower build. If you've been, okay, Adrian, I know I've met you once, but let's say, for example, that you were a teacher very well known in the Anderson area, it would be easier. Or you had a reputation already for, working with kids. That's going to be a whole lot easier than starting from scratch. If you're starting from scratch, then it's going to be about building those relationships. Who are those people? Who's going to be your customers? They're going to be parents. The kids aren't going to be buying. It's the parents. So where do parents hang out? Well, it's at schools. Jenny said home schools. Just get to find where they are and just start getting to know them. And as Jenny said, serve them well. Have a lead magnet. I love Ambika's idea of the PDFs. You could even do videos with exercises. Find a neighbor kid or somebody's a friend's kid and do videos with them. And it might take time on that one for sure if you are starting from scratch and don't have an audience, or partner with somebody who does have an audience, maybe that's not doing anything to monetize it, that would love to where an opportunity for you to serve in a way that they're not already doing that. They may be willing to promote a virtual camp for you or some type of camp.
Okay. And I know to answer. I was just wondering again what the question was, are you looking to, you love being out in nature and working with children. So that's what you want to monetize, is that passion. It doesn't necessarily, maybe a camps isn't the right thing. Maybe a day camp, maybe a virtual, maybe that's just not hitting either. You don't, what is it Brett always says, is it a traffic problem or a conversion problem? So do you have traffic? Do you have an audience that you're actually promoting that to? And is that the right audience, or is it the right product? Are you actually serving them with the needs that they have? Those are the questions to ask. So I hear your passion being out in nature and working with children. So you're trying to figure out, where do those two clash? Well, or come together, maybe is a better word than clash, right?
Right.
So if you're giving out tips, I mean, just another way to monetize, it doesn't have to, it can take a long time, but it doesn't have to take a long time.
Sure.
If you're set up. And actually we're working on a program to help you guys walk through this process and get results quickly. But if you are, maybe you're giving out, like maybe you have a scavenger hunt and you have a calendar. Well, maybe that turns into a kit that you're selling, and it's actually a physical product. Maybe you're teaching how to use a pocket knife to carve, and make a cool handle on a walking stick that you pick up while you're on a hike, so maybe that's just a simple thing. You have a video or whatever, but you have a pocket knife that you have private labeled or that you're reselling or something like that to help. And that's where you're monetizing it. So there's lots of ways to monetize. I like the outdoor, a day camp or, something along those lines. I think that's awesome. But maybe you're either not hitting your audience right, or you don't have you need to go find those people who are interested in that. But I think it's easier to go find the people and find what they're interested in and then serve them that, rather than go, okay, I want to do a camp, I'm going to go find my people. That's harder, in my opinion, to try to convince people that they need to come to my camp than to go to the people and ask what they really need and serve them well by filling those gaps. Okay. Michael, it is a question, Ryan.
My group is dads 50 plus with kids looking for side income.
Do you have a group already?
To full business veterans are a plus. Okay, so there's some typos there. I'm not sure, Michael. And work where you want. Old school side hustle thoughts.
Sounds like your audience is dads that are over 50. And you're looking for a wide range of where they are in their season of life, but a wide range of side hustles. Do you already have an existing group? Or is that where you want to build something around that for that audience? That would be helpful to know, but I'll let you respond. I'll send you
the link, Michael, you probably already have it, but I created, this is my side hustle download, because I thought there might be people that right now needing just to make some extra money quick. And I know I talk a lot about selling online, but some people are needing, even faster than selling on Amazon. So this is a link to my side hustle down. This only took me a few hours to put this together. You could put it together, a lead magnet like this, which is just like a list of side hustle ideas. It's a free download that you get to build an email list. And then you send people to maybe, I don't know if you have a course that you want to sell them on, or you just want to become known as the side hustle guy. A way to monetize that would potentially be, you could have a course just about, hey, how to do a side hustle. Maybe you get affiliate income off of certain offers. Maybe, what else? Let's see.
Well, I would ask, it's still not clear to me if you already have a group like that or if you're wanting to build it. So again, you could come up with all these ideas, but if you don't have people already that you're working with, then that might be kind of a difficult.
He's wanting to build it.
Okay. So if you're wanting to build it, then you start getting involved. Where are those people now? And start sharing your ideas with that demographic. So find groups where those dads are hanging out. Right. Groups for, like, Ryan, you have a dad's group that you're in, right? And it might be for younger dads, but so you want to find, for the group, the customer avatar, those people, go find where they're hanging out and start just answering questions there. Look for those types of posts and get engaged with those people. Now, you might want to go ahead and have a Facebook page already set up, so that when people come to you, they're, and you're maybe posting ideas on a Facebook page, they can find you. That's a little bit beyond the scope of this particular webinar, but, having a plan, okay, I'm going to answer questions. You can either have an email like Honey has, where you just, okay, I have this, this is the response typed out. I'm going to somehow use this as a template to the people that ask me for more information. But the place to start is to go find those people and start serving there. I would think Facebook would be where they would be hanging out.
One possible way to monetize that, Michael, would be even one-on-one coaching. There could be people that are like, hey, I need that accountability. But a course would work too. I mean, typically you're taking people through a course. It's like one strategy, not like a whole bunch of them, but I guess you could. I don't know, I have to think through that a little bit more, whether you could have a whole
That'd be
site.
a hot seat too.
That would be a great hot seat. Yeah.
So, okay. So I think Michael, you're in the Facebook group. There's 2 posts where we've asked, hey, you want to be in the hot seat? Comment on those. We should just have a regular one post where everybody can comment, and because we'll go through that and we'll randomly do hot seats, and that would be a fun thing to do. We can also do a private hot seat with anybody. I don't remember the link to that, but that's also beyond what we're talking about right here. But if you're interested in that, we can post that in the group hot seat. Jenna, so we've done this a few times in the Facebook group, what's the group called? Build Your Income.
Build Your Streams of Income.
Something like that. Anyway, Build Your Streams of Income with Ryan Rieger and Jenny Hunt. In that group, we've done a few hot seats. Just like this, we get another person in who has an idea. They have something they're interested in, and we go through the ABCs. Do you want to explain what the ABCs are?
Yeah, we assess what do you bring, what are your assets? We assess your assets. Essentially, look at what you have. Do you have a Facebook group? Do you have an email list? What skills, abilities, talents, passions do you have? Throw it all out there on the table. And then we do the brainstorm process. That's the fun part, where we think, here's what you could do, Jenna, with everything what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? What do you have to help accomplish that? Any relationships that you have? And then think, okay, what are all the possible ways to turn this into an income, into a business? And then C is a call to action. So we give you 25 ideas potentially that we threw out, and it feels like you're just drinking from a fire hose and you feel more confused than before. The C is where we think, okay, let's really dial this down. What are the 2 or 3 things that you should really focus on right now? Because it's so easy to throw out ideas. I mean, anybody could throw out ideas that anybody could do, and it could add to overwhelm. But we want you to walk away with, hey, these are the 2. These are the 2 that really feel like those are the best fit, the ones that I can take action on quickly and start seeing some results quickly. So that's the ABC process.
Yep. So I just shared the link in the chat, but we do that publicly in the Facebook group. So if you want to do that publicly, then respond to one of those posts. I think one of them is actually still an announcement. Might be wrong, but just search hot seat and you'll see Ryan's amazing graphics of a chair on fire.
It looks
and just
scary.
Comment, hey, I want to be on the hot seat. Here's what I'm kind of thinking about. Because we'll do them every once in a while. We did one, you can watch them. We've done 3 or 4 in that group. So those are available under the videos. We did one just a couple weeks ago with Jason Smith. That was a really cool one. They've all been good, but something about that one just kind of really solidified well. So that would be good to watch. And I think it's beneficial for everyone as an observer to watch that. You get ideas as well. So, but if you want a private one, you can go to influencetheeasyway.com/hotseat, and we'll do it privately with the 3 of us, basically, Ryan and I and you. So then it's not public. If you don't want people to know what your idea is and all of that, that's totally fine too. Anyway, so yeah, we love doing that. And we've realized, guys, ideas are not the problem.
Right.
They're just not. They're not the problem. So that's why it's really important, I think, at the end to go, okay, well, what are the right ideas for right now?
Yeah.
And to really hit that. Otherwise, you'll never take action and just continue to have ideas, which is a lot of fun, but doesn't get you anywhere. Don't ask me how I know. Cool. All right. So anything else? Or are there any more? Am I missing something?
That's it.
Awesome. Fun. Okay, guys. Questions. If you have further questions, put them in the comments in Facebook for this video. That's the place you can also message us. But that Facebook group is really valuable. There's other resources in there under the units. There is a worksheet that goes along with this presentation that might help you if you didn't take notes and you want to go back or watch the replay, whatever. But again, don't forget, tomorrow night we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be here in broadcasting in the group and also on Zoom, same time, but we're going to be talking about, okay, I kind of know what I want to do. How can I build out multiple income streams? And we're going to share with you the blueprint that we both use in our own businesses. We've helped other people by using this. We just had an intensive business retreat right before the lockdown in San Diego, and helped other people. We used this map that we're going to share with you tomorrow on the call then. So, and if you've heard it before, jump on anyway, because honestly, I'm not kidding. You have to hear things 7 times before it kind of, there's a lot of information, and we'd love to see you on the call too. So it's always fun.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
that's it.
Thanks guys. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right. Bye.